Hey, it's Mike Stangl here. We're going to be talking to two farmers, Gord and Doug. And Doug's farm is
called Donkerdale.
Donkerdale. Okay, so I was introduced to these two guys about 2-3 years ago, and it was through the Soil Ontario
Soil Network.
Yes, Soil Network. Ontario Soil Network, sorry.
There we go.
Long and short, they called or I called, and now we're here today. But what I want to do is show you how sometimes it is difficult, but how easy it is to get into a regenerative mindset. But at the same time, I'm here to bridge that gap between regenerative and these two guys to introduce them to the biology, but more so get them on their own path within that realm. And instead of me trying to tell you what it's about, let's just start going with you guys. A couple of years ago, I don't care who starts, and this is just a conversation in front of this camera. And yes, we're at Our Futures. Hey, Matt, these guys, oh yeah, you remember him? Okay, go ahead.
So I think I might start this one just because that's kind of how this got started. I ended up on the Soil Network with Michael, and our first breakout session happened to be with Michael himself and a couple other, and we just got going down the rabbit trail of what he was doing, and he went on and on. It was quite interesting, and at some point in time he was saying he was making milk lard, and as a dairy farmer this kind of caught my interest. So first it was kind of a skeptical situation, and listening over the years a little bit, and it was a couple of years just listening and not doing, but listening. And then Doug here was interested, and Michael took the effort and the time to step out into the field and dig into soil a little bit with us, and brought to light some of the fungal to bacterial ratios that we were seeing, and kind of led us down the road of learning more, is what I would say.
And then that's when I met this guy.
Yep.
Just after that conversation.
I remember when...
But it was months. We were, I think...
Well, it's a year or so.
Yeah, but our conversation was going until we met Doug.
Right.
Well,
yeah, I was the last guy to the party here.
Yeah.
And
A lot of actually.
I remember when these guys came over, though, that first day, it was an afternoon, and we were chatting about the soil, and then Michael came back a few days later, and he took those soil samples, and he put it under the microscope, and he gave us back this long text paragraph, which was good because it was written down for us. And I remember reading it, and they talked about bacteria and fungi and protozoa, and I had no idea about any of it. Like, it was really interesting. I wanted to learn more, but I just didn't know. Anyways, time passed, about a year, and Michael was going to come out again, and I pulled that old text up and I read it again, and throughout that year, with enough interest with Michael introduced us to, all of a sudden that text made sense to me, and I was pretty thrilled before they even got here. I'm like, I didn't know what they're talking about this time. So that initial visit and you introducing us to topics we had no idea about, but interesting, got us that first step.
Yeah.
So now a couple years later, we understand pretty clearly what we're talking about. We were at a local meeting yesterday, and
You're with
other farmers.
and that gentleman you were talking about, which his name is?
Spencer's there.
Yeah.
From All Solutions. He says company's fairly new, and it's 2 years old now. He has many ideas. Really trying.
Student of Graham States.
Yeah.
Working with farmers.
Yeah, really trying to help farmers in this regenerative road to down, doing it yourself, like on farm what you can.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have, like yesterday, there was other local farmers, and the same thing. They're in the position that we were a couple years ago. So it's all over their head. Too much info, but
too much Latin, too much Greek, and it's just not catching on.
But it's kind of neat because a couple of the guys, it was the second time they showed up. So it's not like they listened and went home and didn't come back. No, they came back again for more info. So but it's the same thing. It's the share of knowledge.
The interesting thing was we heard it. I didn't really believe it. I'll be honest. I didn't really believe it when we talked about endophytes into the plants, so into the seeds and then into the plant and so forth. And first of all, I hardly remember the term endophyte and what that even was. But then hearing it, and it was a long time in between, I know that, but then hearing it again and it coming up again, and it's making more sense as you learn the rhizophagy cycle and so on and so forth. All these things, Michael talked about that, and it helped just laid some groundwork, and I'm very grateful for Michael's patience, because I know, and I've told him often that I'm asking this question again, I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
But that has helped now with talking to other, be it suppliers or people in this space, to carry it on farther, that you had some of that groundwork. You're not learning it for the first time. You're not sitting there with deer in the headlights. Now you can gain, you have a spot farther down the road that you can go a little bit farther yet on from the conversation.
And what was fascinating is that you guys built your own Johnson suits a couple of years ago, and you started utilizing it last year.
Right.
That's a 2025 season. And you've now got more Johnson suits.
Yeah.
And these guys are cash croppers and dairy. That's why we're here at Doug's place, because you don't have one of these yet.
No, I'm not planning on doing a car.
He's gone right to robots.
Straight to robots.
And then this is what's so gratifying, is that I don't know their industry, but I'm here learning with them, and I'm bridging that gap from the biology, the soil health, to them. And what did you see other than the Johnson suit? You can talk about that, but the healthier cow from your own fields to here.
Well, the more mineralization you get in your plant, the better your cow is going to do, because it's always better to mineralize through your plants. And the way to do this biology. But like Michael has helped us gain the confidence to go, both Gord and I have stepped off treated seeds like insecticide, fungicide, like we're back to bare seeds that we treat with biology now, and confidently doing it and promoting it and helping others confidently do it now, which is a big step forward.
Yeah.
And so between that and doing, just understanding soil practices better, even like manure pit treatments with the milk lab, with effective biology. And it's kind of neat whenever the neighbor, we were spreading manure last summer, and the neighbor said to my wife, she said, "Oh, like I feel like the manure didn't smell as much this year," which, I mean, it's a check mark in the box saying, hey, maybe our treatment's working. And it wasn't like I was promoting it or didn't say nothing about it. It was just she by herself noticed a change. So it just helps quantify things do happen, and you can make improvements, and it is real.
Yeah, especially with the milk. Sometimes there is an excess amount of milk, and you guys never knew what to do with it. And I always said, why don't we make lab serum out of your milk instead of, and utilizing it as a fertilizer, or what you've done here with your manure pits. Other than that, like you went and created a Johnson Sioux room.
Yep.
But as well, I was going to mention,
which is a community event, because now I take care of Doug's, mine, and another local fellas all in my place. I'm the caretaker of the Johnson Sioux, but Johnson Sioux has been a cool one too, because it's become a community event here. We've got the knowledge the first 2 years from Michael how we should do it, and then from there we kind of took it over ourselves how we want to do it.
I think we have 12 in there right now, is it? 10, 12?
10 Johnson Sioux bioreactors.
I bet we'll have 30 by next year.
Oh, probably. We have another farmer who's now very keen on, I have a feeling next year is going to be
We're going to need more next year.
And he's going to try, he's actually adapting a planter to be able to put this in. We were having that conversation actually this morning. And then what I was getting at, it's become a community event making Johnson Sioux. So it doesn't feel like work when you're sitting shoveling it in and whatnot. Because we use Doug's tractor and chopper to grind it all up and mix it. And then it's stored at my place. And I believe it's all been sitting in my dump trailer ahead of time. And
it's a good effort though.
Yeah.
It's just things you can do yourself. Like some of the stuff that improves you don't have to buy. You can do it yourself.
Talking about buy, you still don't just use the Johnson Sioux. You use BAM from AEA.
No, that's from Exel.
Exel. Okay, sorry, my bad. And any other biology?
On the biology front, a little bit of a product called Fighter, which is a beneficial fungus that we use as a seed treatment. Side of that, I can't think of anything on the biology side.
Yeah, so it's just a Johnson Sioux.
Like
but even our mineral nutrition approach has changed. It's not so much NPK no more, is what we've always been led to believe is the best route. Now we're on to different things like calcium, try to build calcium levels, or silica, or smaller micronutrients, molybdenum, which we never talked about before. So all these things now we're learning about. And as we shifted away from the traditional route, we're starting learning curves. The quicker you try to change, maybe the harder the curve. But last year, felt like we had some pretty good successes. So I think this year we'll build on that again. So
Well, that's perfect. And then at the same time, did you see a yield decrease or equal?
the first year I seen a decrease because I just went all the way because I'm mostly an in or out person. And I went all the way and with no knowledge. That was the problem. But the benefit is that I then went to learn more. Like it went and gained knowledge because that was the only option. Because I wasn't going to go back to what I used to do. I was interested in something better. And so I personally then just tried to do a lot more learning. Came back to the table this year, tried again. And this year I was widely happy. This year was comparable, very comparable. Maybe still a little bit less yield, but less inputs. I would say the ROI was similar to what I had previous when I was full conventional. So
I would say my ROI is higher. I was literally just figuring it out yesterday because we need to for these guys. And I was sorting it out even with quite a bit of reduced yield because I didn't do something right on a field, which is still to be figured out why. I still made money on 100 bushel corn somehow.
Okay.
That was my worst field. The majority was, I would say, more average yield, but what I'm seeing is a big difference in the barn. So the cows are doing by far better, eating the feed that we have produced with, I would say, the regenerative practices is a big part of that. So there's I'm going to say out of greater diversity of nutrition going into the plant, which is making a more balanced feed source for the cattle.
It's a multi-year approach. The benefit to what Gordon and I do is that we keep our feed stuff and then we process a second time. Like we just don't produce the raw commodity, then we transform the raw commodity to meat and milk. Yeah. So there's good advantage for us to try to get a healthier plant because then we get secondary effects of healthier animals.
And we feed a large portion of the plant, right? Because a lot of times we're taking the entire plant and chopping it up and feeding it.
I think that's great. Did you want to say anything else before we get?
Well, I would like to thank Michael. He helped us a lot. Like if it wasn't for Michael getting us started and sharing the knowledge, all the knowledge came to us for free from Michael. We do the same thing now. We pass it on to other farmers. Mm-hmm. I'm amazed how the sharing is it's kind of contagious in a way. It is. It's just good info in, and you pass it on, and people like what you do, and you definitely notice people watch what we do about how we do, and more people are coming around. More and more people start asking questions. They're hesitant to start, but it's like the wave is changing. Like they definitely watch more questions. Like I said, the same farmers are coming back the second, the third time now, and the group grows bigger. Quicker.
There was something exciting you said before we got on about the guy yesterday going back about his coated seed.
Oh yeah, he after he left the meeting yesterday, he went back and called his seed dealer and asked if he could get non-treated seed, and it was possible, and he was so excited he was calling right away to talk about it.
And he's going to be looking for Johnson Sioux most likely.
And he's not doing it totally blindfolded because he's getting confidence.
Yeah,
from
and you
experience.
guys are here.
Yeah, because we now have from Michael gained confidence, and now we gained confidence in experience.
The disciples have become preachers.
The biggest thing I have to out of this is we're dairy farmers, you're a lawn care guy, but we were able to make a connection through soil health. In this case, it was a soil network that bind us together with soil health, and you were willing to step outside of lawn care, and I was grateful for the help, and I had to have the open mind enough to see someone in lawn care could have an effect in our situation, but just the community that has built and friendship that has formed, and how much I have learned from yourself in the patience you had to teach that to us. Like the first year, I was kind of a little crazy here, and then we came back and you told us again the story, and that patience, I think, is a big part of why we are where we are today. And we're helping the next guy down the road, and I've learned to be patient there too. A lot of times I remember your patience and then put that into practice.
My son's behind the camera. He's laughing at my patience thing right now. Sometimes I don't have patience. Get me behind a wheel in traffic, I don't have patience. But when we're talking soil, I have a lot of patience.
I don't have a lot of patience for a lot of things either, but soil is one of those things.
Yeah, you got to have patience. And that's why we're all here, and then our community, like you guys create it now for yourselves. everybody can come to the water cooler with a part of the conversation,
Right.
and it's going to get filled.
And you start building quicker as more people come with more pieces, because the pieces start fitting better and you can start building faster.
Oh, yeah.
I say collaboration trumps individualism any day.
Oh, yeah. And on that note, we're going to say, see you later.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Unlocking soil wealth, boosting root biology. Stangles.com